So, New York, because it's New York.
And I also felt that it would be like the city to challenge me.
Because it's seasonal, got seasonal outfits. I had a friend who moved away from the city, explain kind of how the city pushed her to just be a better version of herself. Hearing her words, it was kind of the first time I was really like hearing it click for me. Like you kind of do find yourself here. That's kind of what it is. So
why did I pick New York? Well, several factors played into it. At the time, I was dating this boy, and he moved to Philadelphia, and he wanted me to move to Philadelphia with him. And I was not going to move to Philadelphia to be with a man, because it's the 21st century. We don't do that anymore, you know. But I recognized that I loved modeling, and this was an opportunity for me to model. And my lease was ending, and I was graduating that summer, so I decided to go to New York to pursue my modeling, because it was happening in New York the most. It was either LA or New York, and New York was closer to the boy that I loved at the time. And I was coming to a place where I knew nobody. I mean, the person that I came to live with, I had met once for a couple of hours at a wedding, you know? Mm-hmm. So I really knew nobody here. Mm-hmm. And it was a completely different city as far as culture, but also even seasons and weather, you know? And by the time I came, the boy and I had broken up. So I was newly heartbroken, newly graduated in a new city. It was summer, and it was hot. And I'm from Texas. Everything is spread out and spacious. So for me to arrive at the airport and to see this allegedly big city that looked actually small, and it's hot outside, and we all know that New York has a smell in the summer, in the middle of August, and I was unprepared for it. Mm-hmm. And I just felt like, is this worth it?
Everything. You can go to the grocery store and make that a trip. That could be your whole day. I feel like I'm touching my face too much. Blooper, Scott. What did you say? What can you do in New York?
Yes. A thing that I do is I go on Instagram and I see party flyers, and then I just take my ass there. And that's kind of all you gotta do. There's galleries, there's museums, you can go on the ferry, you can walk around your own neighborhood and get to discover it a lot more. What's it called? Maybe you can go on like the dating apps and be like looking for friends, looking for parties tonight, and someone can match with you and DM you and be like, yo, there's a party tonight, come through. So yeah, there's tons. You could write a book about it.
The types of people this city needs are authentic, genuine people. Maybe no people from California. Just kidding. Unfortunately, a lot of the city has become packaged through a social lens around aesthetics. So people care more about the aesthetics when they move here, care more about what it looks like to live here rather than living here. It's just people who come here with like an intention to not like uplift and support the communities that they enter. Like if that's not your intention, the exit is the Harlem Tunnel, that bridge and this bridge. Drive your car and get out.
I think the obvious downsides that everyone knows is how outrageously expensive it is here. You're kind of like on the skin of your teeth. I mean, like if you're coming from generational wealth or you have parents that's paying your rent, you're gonna be golden out here. And then if you're on the other end of that, the other end where you don't have any really necessary safety nets or parents or guardians that would subsidize some of your income, some of your bills or rent or things of that sort, you're like kind of shit out of luck. You'll be like working a corporate job, then also have like another job. It'll be multiple jobs at once just to make ends meet, which is like really unfortunate.
If you see that you're like drained or like feeling burnt out, I think it's kind of normalized here. Also important to manage your time, because once you do go outside, you're likely not going to get back home until like really, really late, especially depending on like how many things you're trying to do.
I guess my heartbreak played a part in my hate of New York on site, because I came to this new city, it's hot outside, it smells weird, and I'm heartbroken. And I'm going to be living on someone's couch. Why did I do this to myself? Again, I go back to coming from the South. We're very codependent on each other. And New York requires you to be independent and take care of yourself 100% of the time and respect other people's space. I think what I've learned in New York was a genuine respect of other people's spaces physically and also emotionally, and also learned that I myself have my own space that needs to be respected, you know? I have been totally and completely alone from people who actually were holding me back and behind from exploring all of who I am, you know? And in New York, I have actually learned to take pictures. I have learned that I am more artistic than I gave myself credit for before. And I have met so many other people who have so much of the same story that I have. And it's made me feel like, oh, there's nothing wrong with you. You're okay. You're literally okay. And it's been healing to just recognize that my story is not an isolated incident happening in a vacuum. It's something that affects a lot of people. And just to see how other people deal with their, for lack of better words, issues has also helped me deal with my issues. So New York has required growth from me, but New York, I always say New York is the coldest city I've ever lived in, but New York has been the warmest place for me emotionally.
Yeah, I think I was gonna go on, but I think my mind went off on a tangent. I have like work tasks that are due in like a couple hours. I have to send something to like a CMO of some fucking film studio.
You got one last question, okay?